Hey, what's up guys? My name is Mike. I'm going to show you how to clean out your dryer vent so this doesn't happen to you. As you can see, very flammable. As you just seen, lint is very flammable, so you want to make sure that you properly maintain your dryer and your dryer vent, including making sure that you clean the dryer vent that's located within your dryer before every use. I'm going to go ahead and go over the tools that you'll need to properly clean out your dryer and the vent, as well as the lint eater system that we are actually using for this video. I'll go ahead and start with the parts that you're going to get with this system. It's going to include 4 of these rods, and you're able to purchase an additional set of rods if you need to go further distance, but it comes with 4 of these flexible rods, which are awesome because they bend and turn in different directions as needed. Then it comes with these different adapters. This is going to be the brush that's used to clean inside the vent. This is another brush for smaller areas, including inside the dryer. And then you have some other adapters that are also used. Not going to be using this one for this video, but this one is needed because you're going to attach it to the vent and to the vacuum in the steps of cleaning out the vent. This is an adapter for different size vacuum hoses, which gets placed here. And this cover actually covers this hole. If you're using it to actually suction, you cover the hole, but I'll show you in later steps how to connect this. And then you also have these parts. This is used to actually clean out if you have like a big clog, like a major clog. You use this to actually clean out and get the lint removed. And then this part here, I'll also show you what that's used to connect. That's where you're going to be connecting and attaching the drill once you connect to the rods. Besides the system, the other things that you'll need is a drill and a shop vac. So that's all you'll need to properly do it, and wait till you see how easy it is. All right, so your next step is going to be going to prepare your area. As you can see, what I did here is I created just a mock setup, so for training and demonstrating purposes. So I'm going to go over a couple scenarios to help you get your area ready. If you have an electric dryer, you may need to wiggle it out of place in order to get to the power cord. You're going to want to unplug that before you get started. If you have a gas dryer, possibly the same thing. What you want to do is make sure you turn the gas off. Most of the time there's a shutoff valve located right behind the dryer. If not, locate your shutoff valve, turn off the gas, because you are going to need to disconnect the power as well as the gas in order for you to get the space that you need to work back there and properly get get the dryer vent and the back of the dryer cleaned up. So aside from that, then you're going to look for, depending on your home, your vent is either going to be going through, as you can see I have here, just located just on the external side of this wall, just to show you essentially what it looks like if it was to be going straight up. Now, your setup may actually have, it may be going up through the wall, but then out and angling through the side of the house. So there's definitely different scenarios. Commonly around here, where I'm at, located in Florida, is most homes are venting either through the roof or through the side of the house. Of course, there's some homes that I've noticed over the years that it can vent lower, but we have, of course, flooding here, so it's typically found on your roof or the side of the house. So you definitely want to keep those things in mind, because not only a thorough cleaning of your vent is to also be sure that you're checking the other end, whether it be on the side of the roof or the side of the house or the roof, just to make sure that the lint didn't cake up or clog that end as well, which I'll be demonstrating to you, showing you more in later steps. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and assemble the tools in the system that we're going to use. I'm going to start off by grabbing one of the rods, and each of these rods is about 3 feet, so you would be able to clean up to about 12 feet using the system that comes with the initial package. So first step is going to be attaching this fitting, which is used to connect to the drill. So just tighten that down as much as it'll go. Then I'm going to go ahead and attach the brush that cleans the vent. And as you see here, once you tighten it down all the way, there's also an Allen screw that you want to tighten down. You want to make sure that you can tighten this as much as it'll go, just as tight as possible, so it doesn't ever doesn't break loose inside your vent. So tighten that as good as it'll go. And then after that, we'll go ahead and prepare this. So depending on the vacuum hose you're using, you may or may not need this reducer. For our sake, we're actually going to need it with our hose. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that to this adapter. And then the next part is going to be where this will go right through here into the vent, or into the adapter. So this is just, like I said, preparing and assembling everything. The next thing we're going to need for this step is going to basically be, and I'll show you here, we're going to be attaching the vacuum hose to this adapter, just like that. And then finally, before we start doing cleaning, you're going to then just grab your drill and attach to the fitting that we attached to the rod, just like this. So as you can see, we're set up and we're ready to start cleaning the vent. All right, so before you get started in cleaning your vent, what you're going to want to do is set your drill to about the middle setting. So you don't want too much torque, too much power, so you want to just set it to about the middle. This particular one goes up to about 20, so middle or under is the recommended. And then of course, then you're gonna go ahead and turn on your vacuum, and from there you're simply going to just connect this adapter. So feed the brush in a little bit, connect the adapter so it has a nice connection onto the vent, just like that. And then all you're gonna do is make sure that the drill is in the forward direction, as if you're like screwing in a screw. So you don't want to go backwards, because that'll cause the fittings to come apart. So you want to make sure you're going forward, and then you just simply brush, and as you're brushing, you're going up into the vent. So just go up, and you can kind of go back and forth as I mentioned with the vacuum running. What you're doing is you're breaking down the lint, and it's getting sucked into the vacuum. So you just go as far as you go, and just go back and forth just for this motion here. And then once you're done with that, the next thing would be to go ahead and attach the next rod, so you can go further up the vent, and you're going to continue those steps. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that there. We'll go ahead and pop that off the drill, and then I'll show you so you could do a couple different ways. I mean, you could obviously, the easiest way is just to take the fitting off that connects to the drill, and then attach your next rod to this, and you're gonna do them in stages. So you don't want to put all the rods at once and do it at the same time. So the next move would be to do this, and you want to either make sure this is tight so you don't lose a rod in your vent. You could use a pair of pliers to tighten it down pretty good. The other thing that is commonly used is just grabbing some tape, just to go ahead and secure the two rods together. So you just take a little bit, go around, and just wrap some electrical tape. I'm going to use some electrical tape on it just to connect the two together so I don't lose it, just like that. And then once you're here, you just go there, and you can fold the tape a little bit. It makes it easy to remove. But then you continue, you repeat the same step we just did. Just like I did, I can just go here and run your rod through, just like that, and repeat that step again, and just continuing ultimately all the way until you get to the end, until you get some resistance. So as you can see, you know, it gives you, you know, it's giving me another 3 feet per rod. It's 3 feet further into your vent, and then you're doing the same exact motion every single time. So you're from this point, obviously, I would attach this fitting and repeat the steps that I showed you with the drill, just like this. Attach it here. Again, make sure always in the forward motion. So start off where you left off with basically one rod, and then just continue, same motion. So you're going up, and just back and forth. Just really break down that lint that's clogged up in the vent. All the way up, nice and easy, pretty much all the way up, and then just further to the very end, as much as you could. So, like I said, you're gonna repeat that all the way up until you get to the very end of your vent, like the end of it. What I want to point out is, depending on how your vents through the roof or the side of the house, you're gonna have something like this. And I'd like to show you, basically, this is the outside where it's, you know, got a screen. What you want to make sure of is, there's the different styles. This is one of the newer styles that shows a screen, but you want to make sure that if this is on the roof or on the side of the house, once you get to this point and you get the resistance, there is, I could show you on this end of it, there's a flap. So you can see the flap. So although there's a screen on the one end, but then there's also the flap, and you can probably get a view from about right here. See, there's a flap there. And what happens with just the combination of lint and the humidity, that lint can cake up. So you got to make sure, that's why it's important to check the other end with where you're connecting, or where your dryer vents out, so you can confirm that that flap is functioning and the dryer is in fact breathing. And again, obviously the importance of cleaning out your dryer vent is not just for, you know, in addition to being a fire hazard, but it also, you know, affects the efficiency of your dryer. You got to think what's happening is the dryer is heating up, and then it's using the vent to remove all the moisture from inside the dryer and exit. Now, if the vent is clogged, it's creating a lot more resistance in removing the moisture. So it's trapping the moisture inside. One of the most common things, you know, I hear is, you know, my dryer is not drying that well. Well, typically dryers either heat or don't heat. Like they say my dryer is not heating well, or it's not, you know, taking too long to dry the clothes. Dryers either heat or don't heat. So normally what happens is, if the vent is clogged, or for whatever reason the dryer is not breathing properly, that moisture is actually getting trapped inside the dryer. So the clothes are tumbling with heat, but the moisture and the water is just staying in there. It's not exiting from the dryer. So it's a very common reason that, you know, a common cause is the dryer vent being clogged. And the best way to test that theory is simply disconnecting the dryer vent. And when you do so, just run the dryer, and you'll see that if in fact it dries good. Of course, it's not a permanent thing, but it's just to test, okay, let me see if my vent is clogged. You disconnect the vent from the back of the dryer, and what that will do for you is allow you to determine, you run the dryer, see if it, worked perfectly fine, dried as it should, and that will tell you that the vent is clogged and does need to be cleaned. So another thing I want to mention is, once you get all the lint broken up off of the vent, one of the things that you can do is use this cap here that also comes with the kit, and it goes right here on this adapter and allows you to create, you know, a good suction. So what you could do, once the lint is broken up, you know, in the vent, you then can just connect this back and, you know, go ahead and, you know, at least suck through whatever remaining lint may be on the inside of the vent. So it just creates a nice seal, and just turn it on to potentially suck through any additional lint. But another step that I usually will do when I'm performing these dryer vent cleanings. Okay, so another thing you can do is use this brush here to go ahead and clean the area where your lint trap goes. So if you remove this here, typically it's a smaller space, you can't really get in there. But what you can do is use this brush and get in there, like nice and, you know, to just little areas, and just break down the lint. As you can see, you can just kind of go in, and it just pretty much just go through, and same idea, just go on, you know, just get it onto the different areas. As you can see, the motion that I'm doing, that'll allow you to break down any lint that's stuck to the walls. And of course, do the same thing on the back of the dryer. with the larger brush, and then use the shop vac to suck through any additional lint. But I hope this video helps and hope you enjoyed it. So give me a thumbs up, give it a like, and always subscribe for more. Thanks.